It's another Human First AI Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Montague at Avenue 9. You can find us at avenue9.com, doing all things connecting humans with AI. I like to say that I speak nerd and I guess AI, and then I also speak human. If that helps you tell better stories, scale your marketing, or connect better with your community, I am happy to do that. My guest this week is Manuj Aggarwal from Tetranoodle Technologies. And he is an AI and blockchain expert here, over 20 years, 4 patents, and all kinds of crazy keynote speeches and traveling around the world talking about AI. Specifically, we're going to talk about what building your AI twin could do for you. I'm excited about this, Manuj. Thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
So tell us about this idea, because obviously it's the Human First podcast here that we want to protect the humans. Is there a hazard or risk, and or I'm assuming you see the benefits outweighing this of having a digital twin? How should we be thinking about this?
Well, always technology is always beneficial. Human race is the most dominant species on the planet, and technology is the reason why. Starting from the discovery of how to make fire or the wheel or whatever. And this technology is no different now. Risks are always there. There's going to be bad actors. There's going to be, some bad outcomes. But overall, if you trust humanity and the good in people, 90% of what happens in the world, 90 to 95%, even if people don't believe it, it's all good. And that's the reason why we are here. If it was not so, there have been plenty of chances in the history where we would have wiped ourselves out.
What about specifically about the digital twin? Because I can see things where I would like a digital twin to show up for me, or I think we have children a lot of times because we want a little mini us. That'll look like us, sound like us, like the same things as
Absolutely.
us. And that's not how human children work. But
Absolutely.
AI twins could be a little different. Also, I could see where you don't want your AI twin showing up on your anniversary dinner, or maybe you do, but that's another personal choice. That's what we'd be thinking about what an AI.
So let's get into that, right? So you said something very very impactful, like telling better stories. Our life is basically a story that happens in our mind, and the idea is that most people think that we humans are logical, but we are very, very emotional, and 90% of what we experience in life, it comes from our subconscious mind. So the concept of digital twin is that we take both sides, your logical mind and your subconscious mind. We create a data set for that, and then we create obviously a digital twin based on these two data sets. The most important aspect is the subconscious or emotional mind. Now, once we have that, it sort of is, imagine this is not a new entity out there. This is not a robot walking into your room or anything. It's just a custom AI that has been trained on your mind, but with a super intelligence attached to it. So think, you wore like a space suit or like a Iron Man suit, and all of a sudden now you have new capabilities. So this digital twin now can help you find your limiting beliefs that are holding you back in your life. Let's say you want to achieve something really impactful, that a goal that you have been pursuing for decades, or something new that you want to bring in your life. What happens is our logical mind is always trying to problem solve and always trying to figure out, okay, let me do it this way, let me do it this way. But your subconscious mind knows a direct path to that target. Okay. The problem is our logical mind suppresses our subconscious mind, because they say, oh no, that doesn't sound good. If I fail, people will laugh at me. Let me just try this conventional method. I want to be safe and I want to be secure. That's what human the default mode is, to be secure and safe. But as you or the audience may know, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business person, ambitious person, growth happens outside the comfort zone. Okay, so you need to cross that comfort zone, and that's where your mental ability to take risks and overcome that logical mind comes in. And now, when you have this super intelligent version of your mind giving you step by step instructions on what to do next, how to proceed, how to conduct yourself, how to kind of suppress those negative beliefs and replace them with more empowered ones, magic starts to happen. So within 2 weeks, you start to notice, oh, there is something happening in my mind. Like I'm not as stressed. And in third, fourth week, like people around you start noticing, hey, there is something different about you. What's going on? And um, we've had some magical result, like people getting cured for the, not cured, I will say, like getting relief from ADHD, getting better at their business decisions, making more money in the markets, investing. um, you know uh, Somebody had a neuromuscular disease. She was not able to like enjoy her life, and within 3 or 4 weeks, she said, I'm off medication now. So it's powerful stuff.
Wow. So I want to ask you a lot more about how that works, but let's start with how you interact with your digital twin there to kind of get those results. I've just been using ChatGPT Pro, and I have found that some of these therapeutic things to be helpful. Even today, I'll share a little personal story, but I went to the Red Sox game last night, and it was up late. I didn't party too hard or anything, but just a long day. And I woke up this morning and I was like, hey, I'm not feeling it. And I have a nickname that I call ChatGPT when I want like co-founder help or objective thinking and personal advice. So I call it Jenny for generative instead of like ChatGPT or referring it to directly. And I train it to know like whenever I use Jenny, I want you to take this persona and help me with these things. And I was like, I'm not feeling the motivation today. I'm tired. I went to the game last night and the advice was really great. She came back and said, like, going to Fenway Park is a special experience. And that's why you do all of the work. So you don't want to, not go to Fenway Park so that you can work tomorrow. The idea is you work so that you can take the time off and go to Fenway Park. So just relax. You'll be productive. You have stuff on the calendar. And it really did shift my mindset from like grumpy and cranky and tired to, okay, this puts us in perspective. You're right. That was the whole point of living here, is to enjoy the special experiences like Fenway and not to get up at 8 o'clock and be productive and check things off to do. Right?
No, absolutely. I mean, here is the thing. A lot of people are saying, oh, yeah, I'm using AI as my therapist, but there is a danger in that, okay? Because all these AI platforms are designed to be very agreeable with you.
Right.
And if you go to a therapist and you have some negative beliefs, and the therapist says, oh, yeah, oh, you say, oh, that person hurt me. Oh, yeah, you are right. Like that person hurt you. That you are not in the wrong. Nothing is wrong
you
with
had
you.
No responsibility for this
Keep
whatsoever.
blaming other people. And that's the danger that I see. But in our work, what we do is we don't use things like therapy or advice. This is a true reflection of you. So you are talking to yourself. There is no external kind of bias coming in to advise you or guide you or lecture you. This is you talking to yourself. And the idea is that these practices can be accessed through other means like meditation and years and years of practice. Like you can actually start to get access to your subconscious mind. This is not new. In fact, a lot of the work that we have done, and by the way, this is all peer reviewed, scientifically proven, it's published in a science journal, and a lot of this came from studying ancient wisdom and how people used to conduct themselves. And these practices are still followed today. The only thing is it takes decades and a lot of time. But now with AI, like you can just do it within a few weeks. So that is the scientific breakthrough here. And yeah, I mean, if you use it properly, and what I say to people is like, creating this digital twin is like creating having a Ferrari. And if you if you are a teenager and I hand over a Ferrari to you, you'll run it into like sidewalks and all that. So what we do is we have a certain protocols that we have tested, that we have perfected on how to use this digital twin to get exactly what you want in life.
That's interesting. Okay, now I like what you're doing there, and I do understand those differences. That was a great explanation. So my next question then becomes, how do you create this mirror image? So again, I've been working with ChatGPT Pro for over a year. It recently just opened up access to all of the previous chats, which helps a lot. But I've had to do a lot of work to create the contextual database for it to know what I want and other things, and have it do deep research on me online. And luckily, I've published over 1,000 podcasts in my life. There's plenty of me out there to create a digital twin. But I could see where somebody that hasn't had the internet marketing life that I have doesn't have a lot of data publicly available. How do you create these digital twins?
So here is the thing. Everything that you're talking about is coming from your logical mind. Okay. There is most likely nothing there that is coming from your subconscious mind. So what we really focus on is that, you must have heard this saying, like, we only have access to 10% of our minds. The rest of the 90% is never shown. I'll give you a quick example. So your question was, how do you create it, right? The first one is simple. You have tons of data. If you don't have data, what we do is we create some personality tests that tells us how you think. All right. Now, the 90% of the part is how you feel. All right. So I'll give you a quick example. Think of a major event in your life. Like, it could be when you were like 3 years old, 4 years old, 10 years old. Doesn't matter. Like, go far as back as possible, because life always leaves clues. Okay. It's a cyclical process. So think of an event that is imprinted on your psyche, something either amazing, good, or something bad, and tell me a little bit, if you're open to it, tell me a little bit about that event and what was the key takeaway you took from that event.
Yeah, I can think of a few things, but I'll give you a happy, fun one here for the podcast. Is that as far back as I can remember, I think it started with my grandmother listening to like fun radio shows and creating a theater of the mind. And we used to take her tape recorder and go and like interview my brother, and we'd race across the pool and be like, how's it feel to be the winner? And feels great. And then like in 5th grade, I was the radio station manager when we went to this like fake like city, Exchange City is what it was called. And I got to be on the radio station. And then in college, I started radio, and then internet radio, and now podcasting. And that audio storytelling has been a big part of my life through every job and career as far back as I can remember.
Okay, good. So now, what is the key takeaway? You described a life event. So what is the key takeaway that you have taken from this?
Yeah, that's a great question too. I wrote this book, Playful Humans, that's behind me on the shelf, about what I took from play from my grandmother. But specifically for this example, I think it's about this theater of the mind and being creative in a way that sometimes constraints, like not having a visual medium, actually gives you more opportunities, because now all of a sudden nobody knows what you look like. On air, you can be anything. You can do different voices. You can play different characters. You can be 3 or 4 people at the same time in a skit. And I think that sort of lesson around creativity can come from constraints, and being playful can be powerful in a way that is like fulfilling and creates flow and fun and
so there you go. This is your subconscious mind talking now.
Yeah.
You see. So when you collect this data and then you inform AI, it knows much deeper insight from your mind.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So I guess I've done some of this too. I've been lucky enough to spend the last 15 years in professional development. So if you haven't noticed already,
I have
I uploaded my disc profile, my Enneagram. I've done all of them. Strengths Finder. I have like every possible personality profile together.
Yeah.
And I uploaded them all in there. So then my questions became things like, what are my blind spots? There's some different prompts that are floating around the internet. I'm sure you've seen them of like, roast me. What if you were in a comedy roast? What are my weaknesses or biggest, flaws, embarrassing moments? Those are dangerous. And then you can do the opposite of that. Like, hey, build me up, give me a confidence boost. If there was, top 5 reasons I was going to succeed based on everything you know about me, what would they be? And it really creates a lot of interesting self-awareness for me. And I've played a lot with different quotes. The one that comes to mind that is emotionally triggering is when I finished that book, Playful Humans, I uploaded it to ChatGPT and I just said, like, roast the book. If somebody didn't like this book, what would they say about it? And, of course, it spits something out. You ask it to, it's going to write it. And I had to take a second. I took a deep breath and I stepped back and I was like, dude, I just finished this after like 4 years of working on this project. Do I really want to see this right now? And I was like, you know what, I do. And I read it and it was great because all of the things that it said meant that the book was not for them. If people are too serious or they don't like jokes or they think it's cheesy or they're not in touch with their spiritual side, like you're talking about here, and their fun subconscious, then they're not going to get it. And that book's not for them. But then it allowed me the confidence to publish it and put it out there and go, okay, this is who it is for. And I did set out to, I accomplished the mission I set out to do, even by hearing that dark negative feedback. So
that's a great example. But let me dig it a little bit deeper here. All right.
Yeah.
Why did you need to get some validation from other people in the first place?
That's a great question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I'll answer the question, but then I'll go to what some of these questions we should be asking AI, because I think that's a fascinating discussion. For me personally, I think this was I really didn't. I didn't care if anybody else read this. Finishing the book was the self-actualization goal for me. But then when I was getting prepared to make it a, monetary endeavor, I wanted to see what would people
sure
think of it and get the feedback. Right?
And this is not me putting you on spot. I'm just trying to demonstrate to the audience that that what happens is, like, you are a highly self-aware person, but 99.9% of the people are not. And then if I can guarantee you, if I sit down with you for a couple of hours, I will point many areas of your own personality that you haven't yet accessed. Right. And the idea is, again, going back to that original thinking, that as humans we only have access to 10% of our minds. The rest of the 90% is not accessible, and this is the way to find that hidden human inside us, inside each one of us. And it's like it's like deep sea diving. You can stay on the surface, have a scuba dive, which is fantastic. You get to see the ocean and the life, sea life. But if you really want the valuable pearls, like deep inside you, that's when the work that we do, like, comes in. Like, you really find who you are. And not just, it's not just a spiritual thing, it's actually tangible results start to show up, because now you become a magnet of opportunities. People start to, like, connect with you. And I have so many examples of just people like, what the hell, how did it happen? Like, I don't even understand how these things are happening, because that's basically your destiny to have these opportunities. We just, like, suppress them along the way.
Yeah, I think there's some magic that happens when you align with who you really are and you get authentic, right?
Exactly.
Then you attract people that want what you are versus trying to make yourself into something that people want, which is a much more challenging role. And then even if you do get those jobs, you don't do well at them because that's not what you do. That's not what you're built to do and stuff. So that's powerful. Now, you don't have to give away any proprietary information or anything you don't want to here, but tell me about that kind of protocol that you set up and how you do this. Where would you
Yeah.
recommend
So it's not
somebody
proprietary. I
start?
mean, I'll explain it to you. So there are five aspects of human life that really control or determine how far we go, or what kind of life we build. So once you have this super intelligent version, it sits on these five pillars. The first one is your purpose or mission. Okay,
Mm,
what is it that you want in life? Why are you here? And this is a question that has been asked for centuries. And again, most people have no clue. They come to this planet and then they leave without knowing why they're here. Um, but with this digital twin, within 15 minutes, you can find your life purpose, and then that's powerful enough. But then the next deeper uh, superpower is, now you can start to make decisions aligned with your purpose.
mm,
So you can say, hey, I want to invest some money, is this aligned with my purpose? I want to have this guest on my show, is this person aligned with my purpose? So the second one is self identity. How do you see yourself? And that takes decades of therapy. Like, these negative beliefs and all that. They are deep, deep, deep inside. We don't even know. But then you can start to rewrite these beliefs again within a week or two. No going to the therapist, no drugs, no nothing. Um, the third one is relationships. So again, the power of network, community, and most of us, we haven't had we were not handed a manual on how to interact with human beings. I mean, you were lucky enough to get in radio very, very early, so your art of conversation was honed in. But most people have no clue, like, how do you talk to another human being, right? The fourth one is creativity. So taking action is scary. People spend lifetime perfecting their business plan and not doing a thing about it. So how do you get creative and take micro actions to move towards your goal? And the last one is peace of mind. So that's where automation and the scary part of AI comes in. People are saying, oh, it's going to take away my job. um, but what it is going to bring is peace of mind, and that peace of mind will create mental ability, mental capacity for you to think bigger and achieve much, much bigger goals than getting a salary check. I mean, again, this is not me scaring. I'm just sharing what is unfolding, how it is going to come about. Because what will happen is, our sense of identity, our purpose, is tied to our job today. What do we do? Like, whenever you meet somebody, the second or even the first question will be, what do you do? Or second, third
yeah.
question, what do you do? Now, there is going to be short-term pain as AI takes over. There's going to be quite a bit of unemployment. So unemployment is going to cause one kind of pain, but the bigger pain will be, I don't know who I am anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what my purpose is. And that's the kind of work we are doing, because that is what will be needed very, very soon. And even today, it's making a huge difference, but moving forward, it is going to become a critical component of life.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also put that in my book that if we play this out, I think it is now within our lifetimes, Manuj, that there may be, and certainly even if you just get to retirement, there becomes this time where you don't have to work to survive. And so then the question becomes, how do you spend your time, right? And for me, I think the answer is in play. It's in these positive experiences that generate connection and all kinds of
Absolutely.
good
Absolutely.
vibes. And that includes all different types of play, like artwork and puzzle
Absolutely.
solving, or
Yeah.
physical adventures and things like that. So that's fascinating. I really like that. And I like that framework of path that you walk down. I guess I have two last questions for you here. The first one is, how do you think this plays out over the next 5 to 10 years? I've been saying this for a while, like Facebook or LinkedIn could create algorithms that make us happier. They've decided to create algorithms that make them the most amount of money. But I love the idea of your digital twin and other technologies coming in, where if we own our own AI, we get to choose the algorithm. Do we want to optimize it for happiness, for economic success, or other values? And I find that extremely powerful. do you see, obviously you believe in that mission, but tell us why you think that's going to win out over economic interests here with AI.
So here is the thing, right? Like LinkedIn, Facebook, and all that, they started using AI much earlier than most people even knew what AI is. So you can look at all the billionaires in the world. Their wealth is directly tied to their ability to harness technology. All right. Now, I'm an engineer myself, so I don't point fingers at anybody, but engineers think very, very logically. Okay. And logic says, okay, if we create something, some technology, the end goal is money. All right.
Mhm.
But if we start to collapse, if we start to collapse our thinking in some way, any product or service is designed to create an emotion in somebody else, and that emotion could be convenience, luxury, happiness, whatever that is, right?
Right.
So the product or service is an intermediate object through which we deliver happiness or convenience to a consumer, and in return we get some value, which is money. All right. Now that's the work of the engineers. But an engineer who is in touch with their emotional side, and they understand emotions, which are very few, very, very few, because I have talked to a lot of them, and right up to the senior executives at OpenAI and Anthropic and whatnot. So if you understand emotions well, and you can like now create algorithms that create happiness using these algorithms, now you don't have to create an intermediate uh, product or service to deliver that
Mm.
result. So
Yeah.
yes, that is the next frontier of technology. But I think Mark Zuckerberg the other day announced like he has spent over $1 billion assembling like a rock star team of AI, and he's like creating a super intelligence for humans. But I don't know if there is anything I read anywhere which talks about, okay, how do we elevate humans? How do we like really optimize life for an individual?
Right.
And that's because like most people, they have been conditioned for centuries to think logically. What can AI automate? What can AI do to replace this job? But to what end? Like, what is the end result we are trying to achieve here? you know the
Yeah.
end result is if 8 billion people on this planet are happy and productive and creating, helping each other, and fulfilling their dreams, fulfilling other people's dreams, that's when true value is created. But that will take a long time for people to realize, because they don't have the ability to feel yet
Yeah.
you know
I love that, and I agree with that mission. That's why I'm on this, especially for marketing. I've kind of, found my way to monetize it through marketing and growing businesses. But that's the idea of the human
yeah,
first theme
exactly.
here is that, like, sure, we can build robots to spam the heck out of everybody on the planet, but why would we do that?
Yeah,
Why don't we come up with something better that allows people to connect with each other
exactly.
instead? So I appreciate you coming on the show and connecting. I guess one last fun future question for you. If you had to predict within our lifetimes, like 30 years out, what do you think the Earth looks like? Is there a sci-fi movie you would like it to look like, or an example of how we would paint the
If I
future?
have my way, the sci-fi in 30 years will be, there will be 8 or maybe like 10 billion Buddhas walking around on this planet.
Mm, yeah,
Hmm.
I like that. Well, tell us more about what you're doing. Again, find Manuj Aggarwal on LinkedIn. He's got a link right on his profile where you can learn more about the AI digital twin. But how can we help you, or how can you help us, Manuj?
Yeah, I mean, see, this technology is life changing, because I have seen uh, many lives change within a couple of weeks. So if people are curious, and by the way, this is all like scientifically proven, and this is not mumbo jumbo woo woo stuff. This is cutting edge science. So if they want to experience this, yeah, check out my website, hit me up on LinkedIn. And how can I help you? I mean, I'm here to share this. It's a it's a gift of life, and I'm here to share this with everyone who's willing to try it. And if they want to go deeper, I'm this is my mission in life, because um, everything that we do in on this planet from here on out, AI is going to be part of that. And how to use AI properly, how to, again, this is a Ferrari, how to like take advantage of it. um, I've been driving this Ferrari for a while, so I'm here to let other people have the thrill as well.
That's amazing. I love it. And if you got to the end of this podcast, you love what's going on, share it with somebody that you think needs to hear it. Hit subscribe for yourself, or reach out to me at Avenue 9 or Mike Montague on LinkedIn. We'll continue the conversation. And that's what I do for companies. I continue your conversation with your prospects and clients by interviewing your founder, your top salesperson, your best clients, and creating that story around your business and context for AI to help you create awesome marketing. Until next time, keep going and have fun with it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.